One of the tensions that as Christians we feel with things like this is we've been through all sorts of things to make sure that we're using our resources wisely, that we're being good stewards. But it does feel a little bit like it's something that Christians don't do. We shouldn't worry about money. How do you sort of get around that tension?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question because, as you say, it's a balancing act between being good stewards but then not being worried. And there's a good book called Your Money Counts by Howard Dayton, and one of the first chapters, or the early chapters in that book, talks about what's your part and what's God's part. And I guess that's a good way of thinking about it. We just need to be good stewards. We need to do what's right with our money, possessions and resources, our skills and talents. So we just need to be good stewards with that, knowing that God will provide for us, and He promises to provide for us. And so I think that's how we can separate out those two things. Be good stewards, do what we can, but know that God will provide for us, and He promises to do that.
Because I think it's something that it feels the right thing to do is to be sensible, but at the same time, you don't want to find yourself becoming fixated on the whole idea of having lots of money.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very much a balancing act. One thing that I'm very encouraged by is that as I meet clients, over the years I've met many people who have made what would be considered potentially, financially difficult decisions, like going on the mission field for decades and not earning much income, not being able to save much income during those years, and then just seeing how they're provided for later on when they've returned to their home country. And so I guess that what that spoke to me was that as we just make decisions that are in line with God's plans for our life, that He will provide for us. And I guess those clients that I've come across and met with, has just been a reinforcement of that. As we just follow His purposes for our lives, that we will be provided for as we do that. And so I took that as quite encouragement as I've met those people over the years.
And of course, an organisation like Vision and UCB, our parent organisation, it's a living testament to the fact that, well, God does provide, and there are times when the coffers are looking suspiciously empty, and somehow we make it through.
Yes.
So exactly the way it is. Would your advice be then to someone that if they're not too sure about what they should do, they should go to an expert?
Yes, it's a biblical principle to seek many counsellors, and for the individual that might be they've got a trusted person in their community, whether it's a family member that is really good with finances, or they might have several people that they can bounce ideas off. So it might be just that they approach those people and they seek the advice from them. It might be that you speak to an accountant who's going to help you with your tax return and that sort of advice, or it might be a financial advisor that you go to and you engage their services. But I think it is a wise thing to seek many counsellors. Obviously, there can be costs along the way, so it's important to ensure that you're wise about how you engage people in when seeking advice. But you can use a range of counsellors and advice from a range of different people.